Welcome to Wasatch Weekends this Monday, September 25th. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On today's show, we've got some great advice on how to help take care of our student loans, and our sister station out in Colorado has a delicious pasta salad recipe for us. But first, a quick local announcement. Park City Municipal and its consultant partners are hosting a virtual council meeting to get some community input on the land management code and its proposed changes coming up. That meeting is going to be Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30, and it's going to be accessible via Zoom and in person at the council chambers. The idea behind the meeting is to get some discussion from the community on topics including reducing barriers to affordable housing, gentle density, and the criteria for transportation demand that helps support all forms of transportation. And again, this meeting is going to be Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30, accessible either via Zoom or in person at the council chambers. But let's take a quick look at the weather before we get on with the rest of the show.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. Student loans have always been a bit of a challenge, especially in recent years. And with the repayment processes starting to get back underway, one of our hosts, Gretchen Pleshaw, had the opportunity to get some advice on how to really handle the upcoming student loan payments.
Thank you for joining us this early. Dr. Billy Hensley, the president and CEO of the nonprofit Endowment for Financial Education, and we're going to talk about all things student loans. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
You look great. You were saying you were tired. I don't believe you. You had coffee. I know. I love it. Well, I am so excited to talk to you because I know this is something that affects so many different people. And I know that the student loans were paused and they're coming back this October. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, for the first time in well over 3 years, interest is accruing as of this month, and payments are due starting in October.
In October, okay. So do you think with this happening, obviously a lot of people are a little nervous, feeling a little bit unsure, and have people reached out to you at all and asked you about this? Because I know for myself, this would make me feel a little bit, some kind of way, a little bit nervous, and you know, where you feel like, okay, I have some time, now is the time that you have to pay. What is that looking like?
Well, you know, we were curious. We wanted to quantify what people were feeling in a way. And so we did a national poll, two actually. One national poll with general public, and then those who are owe student loans. And we wanted to look at that potential impact on their finances and the finances of their inner circle, meaning maybe the individual didn't owe, but their kids do, or their spouse does, or their grandchildren even. And half of the people we surveyed are very anxious and worried about the end of the repayment pause, and are saying that this will negatively impact their financial lives. 83% actually said they will have to make financial changes, and 23% anticipate cutting between $500 and $1,000 a month, and another 1 in 10 plan to cut more than $1,000 a month from their monthly spending.
Wow. So lots of people feeling very nervous about that, which I can absolutely understand. Because like you said, this is going to cut into their monthly and their salary, their monthly spending. That is crazy. Have people been keeping up with the payments during the pause, or has that been something that you haven't been seeing?
Actually, that's the silver lining here.
Okay.
Half of borrowers made most or every payment. Around 30% didn't make any payments, and then everyone else was sort of somewhere in between. Another bit of silver lining here is that last month, 800,000 borrowers received notice that they received some level of cancellation. Maybe they were in an income-driven repayment plan for so many years, and the Department of Education has actually cited administrative failures in being able to deploy forgiveness for those who maybe have qualified a long time ago, and they're just now sort of catching up to the paperwork, if you will.
Okay, so there was some help and some relief for people. How are they chosen? I just don't, this whole process is so new to me. How are those people, do they have to go and they have to obviously fill out paperwork? And how are they chosen to get help from this?
Well, historically, it's been a little inconsistent. I think the website has been a little hard to navigate, but the Department of Education is making lots of improvements. They're making more repayment plans available to borrowers, tied to a certain percentage of their discretionary income, tied to their total income, and looking at what's due, how much is due, how little, how much do they have to pay back. That's getting better. I think a lot of students, I say students because I always think loans with students, but a lot of borrowers are being actually funneled into payment plans maybe that they've qualified for previously, but studentaid.gov is a really good place to get deeper in that. Look into that more because they have a calculator, a simulator where you can input your information, and then that will place you into the most beneficial repayment plan for your personal circumstance.
Oh, I love that. Okay, and I love what you said as well. I think that's really important to touch base on. I think of student loans as well, but it's not just students, it's borrowers in a bigger spectrum, which makes a lot more sense. What is a piece of advice that you could give to the borrowers out there? You know, me being one of them, what could you say to us to kind of alleviate some of this kind of anxiety around, you know, having to pay back money?
Right. You know, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and this is a scary proposition. It's a scary proposition, and the most powerful thing is educate yourself. But before that, center yourself on that you invested in your future, you invested in your education. Sometimes the debt that goes with that is very difficult to manage. But educate yourself. And there are practical things like understand the difference between public and private loans. Use caution if you're considering something like consolidation, because some of the private loans actually, where consolidation could live, depending on the servicer you use, you may not qualify for certain relief programs like the lower payments even, or potentially some levels of loan forgiveness depending on how long you've been paying loans. Watch out for scams. There's so much attention to this right now. They know people are worried, and you know they're going to take advantage of consumers. So protect your information. If it's too good to be true, it is absolutely too good to be true. No fee to apply. Remember that if you're looking at federal relief, because paying a fee will not improve your odds. It will not speed up the process.
Okay, and as far as the scam artists go, because I know that is something that is very much out there, you said if it's too good to be true and or if they're asking for money up front, are there any other things to look at as far as that? Because I know I'm a little gullible when it comes to people, and I want to think that people are doing, you know, they're being good and trying to help out. Are there any other kind of red flags, warning signs around those scams?
Well, this is boring advice. Probably the most sort of bland, boring information is going to be the best information. So, and that's going to live, and sorry, I'm not picking on the Department of Education, because financial education, financial thinking, financial planning can be overwhelming. And so when you're thinking about student loans and financial aid, it can be a little bland and boring. But the information at studentaid.gov through the Department of Education is the vetted, quality information. It may be a little boring, but take the time. You owe it to your budget, you owe it to yourself to make the best decision. And sometimes the quick and easy might help facilitate a fast decision, or helping sort of, jumping back into repayment. But you unfortunately have to navigate a certain level of red tape, and the way to do that is just carve out some time, dig through the information on the website, your personal profile on studentaid.gov and explore that. Reach out to your student loan service provider. They're going to have information, or maybe even if you call in a favor with your friend who works at a college that's in the financial aid office, ask them for some advice as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Billy Hensley. You're brilliant. I learned so much, and we really appreciate you waking up this early this morning. A little bit of coffee, I know, and giving us all giving all these tips and as far as student loans. We really appreciate you.
Right. I'm happy to do it. I'm a former student loan borrower myself, and I want to help as many people as possible.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much again. We hope to talk to you soon.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. Our sister station, TV8, has a partnership with an amazing lifestyle magazine known as Covered Bridge. And coming up next, they've got a delicious pasta salad recipe to share with us.
Hi everyone, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller, the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other owner and director of partnerships at Covered Bridge Magazine. We're here today with Tracy Von Curran of Foods Avail. Yeah. Tracy, thank you so much for being here with us. It's pretty exciting. Tracy's been in the Valley for quite some time, and if you have not been to Foods Avail, I recommend swinging by there. Tracy, how long has Foods Avail been going on?
Almost 35 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So just new to the Valley then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I moved here in 1979.
That's amazing.
I know.
So
what's your background in culinary, Tracy?
Well, my background is in business. I went to business school, but then when I decided that I wanted to venture into the culinary realm in a business, I went to France. I went to cooking school.
It's the place to
fabulous, go. Just fabulous. And I did lots of little mini seminars and courses, primarily self-taught, but France was really a game changer. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm open to learning all about this wonderful recipe. We're featuring the Asian pasta salad in the summer and fall issue of Covered Bridge. Beautiful photo to complement, and we get to see it made here live. So walk us through, Tracy. How do we begin this recipe?
I would begin by cooking your pasta. In the recipe, I wrote that to use spaghetti, but when I'm doing a smaller batch, I love angel hair. I just love the way it feels on your mouth, so yummy and slippery. And so I love this Italian angel hair because I feel like the semolina flour really makes the pasta more durable and will hold up to, the dressing and the vegetables. So I like to start with the dressing. So it's a mayo-based dressing, so we're going to just start with our mayo.
Perfect. And in the magazine, I believe it's a serving size about 6 to 8. And if that's what we're working with today, then we'll, guests will be able to know, or not guests, we got guests. If you're having guests over, this is a perfect size for a picnic.
It might be a little bit more,
Okay.
I might serve a little bit more.
Okay, perfect.
But, okay, so start with your mayo. And then over here, I have all these fabulous ingredients. So they're not totally pre-measured, but you can get the recipe in the magazine. So I'm going to start with like a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to do a little bit of this sambal olek. This is like an Indonesian chili paste, and it's very spicy. So I would start light, and then you can always add more later.
Depending on your spice level,
Exactly. Then I like to put just like a hint of sesame oil in there to give it that yummy umami undertone. This is tamari. I use tamari instead of soy sauce because it's gluten-free. And even though we are having it on pasta, but we only use tamari in our shop. And then a little squirt of sriracha, because we all love sriracha. Yum. Again, you can go a little heavier, if you like the spice to be a little bit elevated. And then the rice wine vinegar, this is like a toasted rice wine vinegar or a seasoned rice wine vinegar. Maybe about a 1/4 cup, because that's going to balance out the richness of the mayonnaise and those other spices. And kind of what you're looking for is like a little hot pink. Oh, I forgot my favorite.
Ooh.
The Thai chili sauce. We all love this. It's
Wow.
like the new ketchup. You can dip anything in it, and that's going to give it a little sweetness. It has a little heat to it, but it really mostly has a lot of sweetness. So now you have this really, really, really pretty base. Oh, I was going to let you taste it.
Yeah, and it took
Here
no
you
time at
go.
all.
Here you go. Here, what do you
I'll have to
think?
try this
Taste
out.
that.
How is it, Bobby?
That's
Spicy?
amazing.
Isn't that yummy?
And it took you like,
Yeah, like what, 3 minutes?
yeah, not even.
Yeah, so now I'm going to take my pasta and I'm going to put the sauce, the dressing in there. Can you hand me those
Of
tongs?
course.
Yeah, and so we'll give this, a nice toss. And pasta always soaks up the dressing. So we're just going to start with that, and then we can toss it again a little bit later if we want. Okay, so then here, the vegetables that we put in there are sugar snap peas. You see those? And I've chopped those up. Yep. And then we've got some scallion, so green onion. Put those in there. Red bell pepper. You can do these either in chunks or in like little batons, if you will, like, make them a little bit bigger. Sometimes I think a little bigger is better because then you can snag it with your fork.
Yeah, a little more crunch when you want it, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when they're really small, you just can't get them with your fork. So I like them just slightly bigger.
I love
then-
this dish for the season because it can be a main course, a great lunch item, or it can be a side at a picnic.
I have put chicken on this. I have
bet
put
that's delicious.
shrimp in there. Really good, because then it can be like a main course, al fresco dinner.
Yeah, you could
And it's
package this up.
Yeah, it's a great picnic item.
Yeah.
Now, is
perfect
this
for
a salad
Bravo.
that you serve at Foods Avail?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
That's awesome.
And then the last thing is we like to have a little cilantro. And nice, but you don't have to pick the cilantro off like you do parsley because the stems are okay. So I'm just kind of rolling it into a little bunch. And then I'm just going
A
to
rough
give
chop.
it a rough chop. Yeah.
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be real fine either. I like to really get that flavor. And see, I have gloves on, best tools in the world to just absolutely toss all this together.
Pretty bright looking salad. So like Kim said, it's also, time of the year, right? I mean, it almost reminds you of spring and summer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd eat it all year long.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I happen to just
absolutely.
love it. Do you want to bring that bowl a little closer?
Yeah.
That serving bowl?
I think we'll be bringing this to Bravo Vale
There
this
you
summer.
go,
It's
and
a
then
perfect
just kind of
picnic
put
item.
it all in there.
Wow.
There you go. And then
beautiful.
let's
Gosh.
just
Amazing.
grab a
Amazing.
little bit of our black sesame seeds,
Uh-huh.
just for a little
Finishing touch.
Wow.
finishing touch. I think that makes that so beautiful. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah?
Wow, and looks
I hope you guys are ready for lunch.
delicious.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for lunch.
So Foods of Vale is in Avon.
We are.
Yeah, tell us how to find you, and also in terms of ordering things ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
how big can you handle? How
Sorry,
you
that's
can
what
also
I
walk in and get a soup if you're a
We
diner.
have a brick and mortar, so you can walk in, you can take a look at all of our beautiful salads, and you can just buy them by the pound. We have fresh salmon. We have always like a chicken piccata. In the winter we might have more savory things like meatloafs and short ribs. Then we also have a whole freezer case full of lasagnas and chicken pot pies and King Ranch casseroles, and then soups galore. I mean, so you can come in and stock up your freezer. It's a great opportunity not to cook. And then we do have a full menu that you can order, all kinds of platters of food for parties, graduation parties, rehearsal dinners. We do a total off-premise catering component as well. So like
Yeah.
this past Saturday we did the prom
Oh, yes.
I
We
bet
did
that was
food
fun.
for the prom. We did. And then the night before that, we did a rehearsal dinner. So, all kinds of events happening in this valley.
Yeah, and if you haven't had an opportunity, I know when I'm driving around delivering magazines or looking for the next ad sale, I'm hungry a lot of times. And there's not a lot of quick options that
Yeah.
are actually healthy options. I've gone to Foods Avail several times, get myself a nice piece of chicken parmesan and a little side
Yeah.
salad or just a soup to go. And I think, people should really
Yeah.
look at you as that too. It's like, yes, you do catering, but it's a great spot to just grab a bite to eat quickly as well.
Absolutely. We have a few seats inside, and then in the summer we can spill outside. So we do have some, outdoor options for dining. And you're right, it's fast. You're just hungry. You come in, people come in, say, just give me, 5 ounces of chicken salad, and they just grab it and go.
Wow. Well, Tracy Van
Yeah.
Kuren, thank you so much for
You are so
nourishing
welcome.
our valley and for sharing this beautiful recipe, Asian pasta salad, which you can also find in the summer and fall issue of Covered Bridge. Thank you all for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Well, that's all the time we have for this Monday edition of Wasatch Weekends. If you've missed any of our past episodes, you can always catch our archive at parkcity.tv. Until next Friday, I'm Ben Roof, and this is Wasatch Weekends.